Brett Favre stealing millions from Mississippi. That's according to many. That's according to many. All right. He has been in the news, obviously, for it. We also talked about the son of Ted DiBiase. Similar deal. Got a bunch of money from the state of Mississippi, poorest state in the United States of America. Well, that son has been charged. Let's put him up full mass. So former WWE wrestler Ted DiBiase Jr. has been charged for his involvement in the latest and the largest corruption case in Mississippi, the welfare scandal. Okay, misappropriated roughly $77 million to people like him. But the money was intended for low-income families. Let's keep his picture up. Ted DiBiase Jr. is a welfare king. Okay? Deal with it. Court documents show that DiBiase, along with co-conspirators John Davis, Christi Webb, Nancy New, and others, obtained federal funds from the Emergency Food Assistance Program and the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, program, and misappropriated the money for their own personal use. Once again, money for poor people in Mississippi, money for those who need it in Mississippi. Mississippi, already the poorest state in the country. The leaders are robbing the community. There's more. After these federal grants were issued, all right, Davis, the former executive director of the Mississippi Department of Human Services, would direct MDHS to subgrant the funds to the Family Resource Center of North Mississippi, Inc., FRC, and Mississippi Community Education Center, which were two nonprofit organizations operated by Webb and New, respectively. There's more. Davis would then allegedly direct Webb and New to give money to individuals and companies through BS sham contracts. Okay? According to the Department of Justice, at least 5 of those contracts were for the company of DiBiase, Priceless Ventures, LLC, and Family or Familia Orientum, LLC. DiBiase's company were given millions of dollars in federal funds for social services and a few other things that, according to the narrative, they never provided it, did not provide, and did not intend to provide. Now, why is that part important? The wording is really important. If you don't provide it, that's actually different than never intending to provide it. If you simply did not provide it, that's a different statutory element of the crime, okay? Because you can't prove malicious intent or fraud. If you never intended to provide the service, that means that your entire engagement was fraudulent. That's the difference in that language context, okay? All right, so let's put it up. Got a press release. So according to a press release from the Department of Justice, DiBiase allegedly used the money to buy a vehicle, a boat, as well as make a down payment for the purchase of a house, among other expenditures. The statement also reads, DiBiase is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and to commit theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, 6 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and 4 counts of money laundering. Once again, who are they stealing from? Poor people. What money is being allocated? Over $70 million meant for people in Mississippi who actually need it, who deserve it. Okay, there's more. The brother, all right, this is interesting. Brett and father, Ted DiBiase Jr., Sr., were also allegedly involved, okay? After federal audit was completed, DiBiase was asked to return $3.9 million. Now, that's a whole lot of money, okay? That's a whole lot of money. While his father was ordered to pay $722,299. That's not chump change. Brett was asked for $225,950, but he pleaded guilty in December 2020 in state court for making false representations to defraud the government, and then pleaded guilty to a federal charge in March of this year. Now, let's put it up, because obviously this is probably the most high-profile thing about this entire debacle. We're talking about the scandal of NFL legend Brett Favre. The Hall of Fame quarterback has not been charged, not been criminally charged, and denies knowing that the money he was receiving was, in fact, welfare money. Now, if you remember on a previous show, I actually provided the text messages that have now been made part of the public conversation, where it clearly shows that Brett asked the right questions. And the other individual who was part of the scheme, allegedly, provided the answers that made him feel safe, because he wanted to make sure in these text messages that nobody could trace how the money got to him. Now, who in the hell would pose a question like that unless it is a drug deal or something corrupt? All right, Jeff, the plot thickens, but we actually covered the initial story when many people said, this is a big nothing burger. Now you have charges.
And I'm glad you weave Brett Favre in and out of this story, because he is somehow evading negative attention like it's a quarterback blitz and it's like 3rd and long. Yep. This man is incredible. Now, while you were talking about much of this, a montage of the many times that pundits and politicians talk about Black people abusing welfare and social programs, and even going as far as means testing it, like food and other benefits. You have to have certain amount of poverty in order to get those things. All of that flashed before my eyes while you were talking about the DiBiases. And one thing I was just thinking about was like, okay, the DiBiases bought a boat and a car. Can you imagine if a poor Black family in Mississippi used that money that they deserve to buy lobster and shrimp?
Yeah,
there would be so much outrage. Like, apparently when you're using these benefits, you're supposed to go to the bottom of the barrel and use, I don't know, modest amount of money in order to get modest amount of things. And so, yes, let's put the focus back on the DiBiases, and you did a great job of that. And of course, Brett Favre.
That's right. All right, we will bring you updates, guaranteed. They are coming.